James Charles, how scandal and allegations nearly ended his YouTube career. Have you ever seen someone achieve great success only to have a scandal bring them down? James Charles went from being a makeup genius to a lightning rod for trouble. He was accused of things that almost ended his YouTube career. What really happened behind the scenes, though, and how did he get through the storm? In response to allegations that he sent sexually explicit communications to kids, James Charles, a prominent beauty YouTuber who has 25.5 million subscribers, is receiving criticism. On Tuesday, a representative from YouTube announced that the company has temporarily halted the processing of monetization requests for his channel. What exactly is James Charles? In the span of fewer than 5 years, Mr. Charles, who is now 21 years old, has risen to the level of notoriety in Los Angeles from Bethlehem, New York, a town located south of Albany, where he spent his childhood and where he charged his pals between $5 and $10 to do their makeup. Watching Mr. Charles apply makeup to himself and others, such as Kylie Jenner, Lil Nas X, and Doja Cat, is a popular activity on social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where millions of fans tune in. Mr. Charles has been the main face of CoverGirl ever since he was 17 years old. He has also been a guest at the Met Gala and has hosted a competition show on YouTube. Among customers of the Gen Z generation, his eyeshadow palette with Morphe established a cult following, which caused frenzy when it was released. It appeared as though Mr. Charles' climb to prominence was coming to an end in 2019, following the public accusation of betrayal made by a former mentor from his past. While his followers left angry messages on his social media profiles and other influential people aired their own criticisms. Different parties exchanged video communications with one another in a back-and-forth fashion. The number of people who follow him on YouTube had nearly doubled by the time that incident occurred. On TikTok, where he has 36.2 million followers, Mr. Charles works along with some of the most popular users of the program, such as Charli D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio. At the beginning of the year 2020, Mr. Charles was a producer and the host of a YouTube competition show called Instant Influencer. The show consisted of 5 episodes. Mentorship from Mr. Charles and a sum of $50,000 were promised to the winner. Do you have any new allegations to make? A TikTok user who was 16 years old at the time accuses Mr. Charles of sending him nude images and forcing him into inappropriate talk on Snapchat. The allegations were made in February. In response to the claim, Mr. Charles posted a statement on Twitter rejecting it. "The accusation that I have groomed this person is completely false," he replied, adding that he was ignorant that the person he was messaging was under the age of 18. In a short amount of time, more underage users of TikTok and Snapchat reported that they had engaged in comparable conversations with Mr. Charles. In a video that was uploaded to his YouTube channel on April 1 entitled "Holding Myself Accountable," Mr. Charles stated that he had sent communications to persons under the age of 18. As shown in the video, Mr. Charles stated that he had the impression that the individuals who received his communications were at least 18 years old at the time. On the other hand, he stated that these conversations should have never happened, with no reservation whatsoever. He went on to say there is no justification for it. It was on April 16 that Mr. Charles released a second statement on Twitter, which came as the criticism became more intense. "Because this has reached an unacceptable level, my legal team has started taking action against those individuals who have disseminated false information and or created stories that are completely fabricated." A request for comment regarding this item was sent to Mr. Charles, but he did not respond. What exactly does it mean for a YouTube channel to be demonetized? The firm announced that it had applied our creator responsibility policy and removed James Charles from the YouTube Partner Program. Charles was removed from the program. In the case that content creators transgress the boundaries of what YouTube believes to be appropriate behavior, YouTube has the ability to disable the advertisements that play within their videos or prohibit their content from being promoted. Matt Koval, the company's creative liaison, said in a video that introduces the Creative Obligation Initiative, not to sound all dad-like here, but you might say that with great popularity comes great responsibility. Koval was referring to the fact that with great popularity comes great responsibility. Mr. Koval asserts that a punishment may be implemented by the company in response to behavior that is reckless, harmful, or unacceptable. In addition, the program emphasizes that it is not only about the content that you highlight in your videos. Abuse, aggression, cruelty, and fraud are examples of behaviors that are considered to be offline acts. What is the amount of money that Mr. Charles makes? According to estimations provided by Cosmetify, a website that assists consumers in comparing the pricing of cosmetics and directing them to stores, Mr. Charles makes approximately $25,500 for each and every YouTube video that he uploads. These estimates are based on a number of criteria, including his number of subscribers, the average number of views seen on his videos, and viewer interaction. According to Cosmetify, this places him in the position of being the beauty influencer with the largest salary on the platform. Cosmetify says that his revenues from other social media platforms are even larger, with a payout of $89,000 for one Instagram post on behalf of a business and $35,000 for one TikTok video on behalf of a brand. Additionally, he uses data from Influencer Marketing Hub and from Exelit to make this estimate. The sizes of his audiences, the number of times a post is seen, and the number of times it is liked and commented on are all factors that are taken into consideration in developing these figures. Over the course of the past year, Mr. Charles has posted more than 75 films to his channel on YouTube. This figure does not take into account any episodes from his competition show, which is called Instant Influencer. The change that YouTube is making, will it have a substantial impact? There is a significant amount of skepticism among observers and experts on YouTube regarding the influence that the response to Mr. Charles will have in the long run. Platforms also hold large creators who create a significant amount of engagement to different standards than platform creators. Rendon Gahan, the chief social officer at Mechanism, an advertising business, stated that even though many see Charles' demonetization as the right thing to do, many feel as though it's a band-aid fix to a much larger issue. Mechanism is an advertising agency. There is a possibility that demonetization will take place without prior notification or the option to directly explain and appeal to decision-makers at YouTube. In a tweet, Kat Tenbard, who writes about internet culture for Insider, stated, "It doesn't really make for meaningful change when YouTube demonetizes celebrity content creators on a temporary basis after the majority of them have already stated that they will be taking long breaks." Other prominent YouTube personalities such as Logan Paul, Shane Dawson, and David Dobrik have had their channels demonetized as a result of controversies that have been reported in the media. There are still a great number of demonetized creators who run incredibly profitable businesses. If you enjoyed this exploration of James Charles' journey, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Join us for more stories about the ups and downs of your favorite creators and what it takes to survive in the world of online fame.